Now, the tumor I have is called a medulloblastoma, and it is the most common tumor that children get. 80% of the tumors that children get is a medulloblastoma. It is very rare for an adult to get it. I got it. And then, no, the normal thing with the tumor is that if it's going to recur, it's going to be within 3 years, 6 years maximum, if you're unlucky. Mine came back after 10. Yeah. There is no records, there's no research, there's nothing to compare it to. It doesn't happen. I am unique. I could be the only one in the world that has had a recurrence of this tumor after 10 years. The neurosurgeon said to get it the first time it was like 1 in 10 million. To get the second time it's like 1 in 20 million. So I mean it's pretty rare. Yay, I got it. Yeah, I told the Lord the first time, I prayed that time. I didn't pray for the second and third one. The second time, in 2011, got the diagnosis. And they said, we can't cure it this time. We can't cure it. All we can do is provide for quality of life. And to be told that you are going to die, even if you're a Christian. You know, when I was down south, you know, you think about these songs about heaven and all that, and you're shouting it out. See, when you actually get told that you are going to die, it's a very sobering, serious thing. I wasn't shouting. But I called a preacher in Maine, because he'd gone through some pretty hard times, some very serious things. And he was a great blessing. And he gave me a little blurb from Vance Havner about Job. And we know about Job's suffering. And then at the end of Job, you know, he's restored twofold everything that he had. But that's the anticlimax. That's irrelevant, really. The main point of Job is that he got through to God. He got illumination from God. When God showed up, God did not answer any questions that Job had asked. He just told him who he was. And Job had the opportunity to learn who he was. And I look at that second experience, the second tumor, as my opportunity to get to know God better. Seriously, better. And then comes the third one at the end of 2012 in December. And I spent most of December in the hospital, in and out. I'd be in for a week, they let me out for a couple of days, and I go back in, and I had to have operation on the tumor, then I had to have operation on the wound, and then I had to have another surgery on the wound because it was leaking still and building up. And so from the 30th of November into January, I was in and out so many times. I knew the people, they knew me, personally. And I was trying to figure out, okay, what's this tumor about? What's here? And thankfully, one of the times we come back from Carton Den, I mentioned this to Shelley. She said it's for others. Yeah, there were some young girls in that church who had never seen a Christian go through any kind of suffering. From my point of view, it was, well, of course you're gonna, you know, what else are you gonna do? But others had not seen Christians go through serious ailments or trials, and so it was a real blessing to see how it did affect and help the other people in the church there. And also, when I was at the hospital in the time before Christmas, the some friends came up to visit, and you know, normally you pull the curtain closed to separate you off from other patients. He would not allow that to be closed. And for the time of the visit, he mainly talked to the guy next to me instead of to me. And next thing I know, he goes, "Do you want some ice cream?" Well, yeah. So he went down and got some ice cream for me and for the guy next to me. I didn't know what, it wasn't until they left that this guy, Robert, told me that, he said, he was right about the ice cream, it really is relaxing, or relieving, however you want to put it. And from that point on, at 8 o'clock at night, or 8:10, we talked for the next 7 hours straight. We didn't stop until 3:15 in the morning. And it happened to be that morning also, the verse that came to mind was, it's not quite, it was not in context, okay? But it says, "Have a desire to depart, but to stay is more needful." And Paul was saying that to the Galatians. And I felt that. And in the morning I had an opportunity to talk to a doctor again, who was a Christian. And the curtain was closed, and Robert was sitting next to him over there. He goes, "Oh great, I got a religious nut over there." Once the curtain got pulled back and he saw it was pretty normal, it allowed the opportunity at night to talk. And for quite a while, when we got out of the hospital, we'd keep texting each other. And he's come to church a few times, and he's come by the house a few times, and he can come again. We've become friends. I had a desire to depart, but to stay was more needful. And to be able to talk to him was a great blessing. You know, and there are sometimes things that you can't plan. His youngest brother would always say that about anything that happened, it says, "Oh, there's always a reason for something. There's a reason why this happened." And I said to him, "Yep, I'm the reason why you're here. I'm here for a reason." And he goes, "Yeah, I know it." You know, so it just confirmed that he knew he needed what I had to say. Now, whether he's grasping it or not, that's a different story. But he's opened himself up and committed himself to being a friend and to find out more about the truth. The truth matters. It makes a difference in people's lives. It made a difference in my life. I would not be here if the Bible wasn't true. I wouldn't be here if Romans 8:28 wasn't true. I wouldn't go to dinner unless it was true that your pastor's paying for it. I figured that by faith. I think it's very true that when the Lord says, "Seek me and you shall find me," I found him. I found him to be true. Buy the truth and sell it not. Don't give up the Bible for anything. No matter how many scientists say it's false, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.